Hello again there folks, Lone Adventurer here. Thank you very much for stumbling your way upon my channel and joining me for another adventure. Today I'm going to be playing through Korg, Scars of Silvos, a game from Dungeon Havoc Games. The designer is Caleb Engulk, and this is a game that I have covered on the channel before. I did a little preview video during the Kickstarter campaign and we played a quick game. And now the game has delivered to all the backers, and in fact Caleb has gone on to do another iteration of Korg, or rather a re-implementation of the original Korg since this has been released. So he's been hard at work, but I thought that it was worth revisiting Korg and doing a more relaxed and leisurely playthrough now that the Kickstarter has been done. So that is my plan. Before I get started, if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, could I ask you to consider becoming a subscriber? If you want to see more adventures just like this one, I try to release a video a week, so there's a steady flow of solo gaming content. And also hit the bell notification icon so you get reminded when I release new videos, and like this video if you find yourself liking this video. It really does help. If you are unfamiliar with the game, you could watch this video if you wanted. I'm sure it will become very clear as we are going what the mechanics of the game are. They're quite straightforward, but if you want to see more of an overview, you can check out my original video on this game, which I released a few months ago. There'll be a link up in the corner of the screen right about now, and in the description down below. So let's have a look. We need 20 HP to start. We're starting with no gold pieces. I think that's it. I think that's all we have to do as character creation, is write down how many HP we've got, and then you are into it. Super simple. With character creation done, we're going to roll to see which starting settlement in Silvos we will be beginning in. I should have said, the aim of the game, just to remind you, is to complete 3 quests. If we manage to do that, we are given an allotment of land and our adventurer can retire in style. But which settlement are we starting in the land of Silvos? 4 gives us Lunaria. So we're going to turn to page 7 to check out Lunaria. I'll just give you a quick close-up of the illustration of the town. I'm a big fan of Caleb's art. We've got some incidental bits up here next to the title as well. Pretty cool. Let's read the flavour text. Lunaria, the oldest city in Thornwood, has changed hands a number of times over the centuries. The current ruler, King Korvos, was appointed after the last ruler, King Silvos IV, was overthrown for running the city into the ground and causing his allies to leave in disgust. King Korvos is trying to save the city as it slowly sinks into Marrow Bay. So we can leave the city whenever we want, head out into Thornwood. We can purchase some stuff. Now at the moment we don't have any gold, but we could steal from the shop. And if we look at the rules for stealing very quickly, you have to roll greater than the item's gold pieces on D6 to successfully steal the item, or take D6 damage and lose all gold pieces. So the benefit of doing it right now is that we don't have any gold pieces to lose. So we could take some damage, but we haven't got any gold to lose. So you've got to roll greater than the gold value on D6. So there aren't that many items you can steal, because the flail costs 6 gold, the chain armour and the plate armour are both more than 6, so you can't get them. The high potion is 6, so you can't have that. Looking at the cheapest options here, we could have a shield. We'd have to roll greater than 2. Caltrops or tools. We could have a gamble and try and steal one of these things. And I think I'm going to, just for funsies. So I think what we will do is we will steal a shield. 4. We have successfully stolen a shield. Alright. So we can use the shield to avoid damage once. With that done, we need a quest. Now I think we can pick the quest. We don't have to do any one in particular. Nope, we can pick a quest. So let's have a look here. Where do we have to go? We've got the Kingmaker quest. And for that we have to go to the Cursed Estate. So if we look at the map of Thornwood on page 13, the Cursed Estate is C, so that's there. We are currently in Lunaria, so Lunaria is A, the Cursed Estate is C, so we'd have to get up there. For the Deliverance quest, we would have to get to the Sinking Warrens, which is H. Oh, so that's on a different map, so that's quite far away. Then Be at Peace Warrior involves going to the Legion's Tomb, which is also on a different map. Where's that then? So that's in the Legion's Tomb, which is D, over there. Okay, the Sinking Warrens, so F. I got a bit confused there. F is right here. So it looks like F, the Sinking Warrens, is directly where we are. So it looks to me like we can just instantly travel to the Sinking Warrens. But I kind of fancy getting out into the world a little bit. I might be tempted to go for the mission in the Cursed Estate. Okay, I've switched it up a little bit. I think I'm going to go for Be at Peace Warrior. That one seems a bit more straightforward, and I suspect the Kingmaker quest is more challenging as it counts as 2 completed quests rather than 1. So we're going to leave that one for the time being and have a go at this one. So this involves us going to the Legion's Tomb. The late Commander Blackleaf is still fighting like the war against Dunkirk never ended. Put him to rest. So he is in location I of the Legion's Tomb. We have got some stats and details for fighting him here and a reward if we succeed. But right now we need to get there. So we're going to turn to the Thornwood map. We are in Lunaria and we need to make our way to D. Now in each of these hexes we will be having an encounter on the threat table. So if we get particularly battered by the time we get over here, if we've had some poor luck, we might end up turning around so that we can heal and trying it again. But we'll take it one step at a time. We're going to be going into this location here. This has got a +0 threat modifier, so we're going to be rolling our d6 and adding on nothing. So we can only encounter the first 6 encounters on the threat table. 5. A jackalope. I'm not sure what the B stands for. I'm getting a bit of deja vu. I feel like I didn't know last time and then I managed to work it out, but never mind. We've got an X target of 2 for the jackalope, and it can potentially do 2 damage and gain us 1 gold piece, which is better than nothing, I suppose. If defeated, there is a 1 in 6 chance they drop a lucky foot, which allows us to re-roll any d6 roll once. Okay, so we're trying to roll greater than 2 in order to defeat the jackalope. 5. So we have been successful. The jackalope is defeated and we have 1 gold piece. Then there's a 1 in 6 chance that we get a lucky foot. So we're going to get a lucky foot on a roll of 6. 4 not so lucky. Alright, on into the next hex. We're going to roll for another threat. 1, a will-o-wisp. An X target of 2 again. Gets us no gold. If it's defeated, we get +2 on the next roll on Thornwood's threat table. That means we're going to face something more threatening, doesn't it? Alright, well never mind, we'll go with it. So, do we defeat it? Yes, we do. So for the next roll, we're going to add on 2. That doesn't feel good, because we're actually moving into a more risky location now anyway. So we're adding on 2, so we're actually going to be adding on 4. So that's going to give us 9. Ooh, a landslide. So this has got an X value of 4, so we've got to roll 5 or more. 6. That was a bit of luck. So we avoided the landslide. We're going to go on into this location. This is the last hex before we move into the Legion's tomb. Here we go. So we're adding on 6 this time. 9. That's another landslide. Ooh, surely we can't have this luck again. 3. No, we are taking 4 damage, unfortunately, taking us down to 16. So there's no point really in going back to town because we don't have any gold to spend or to heal ourselves with. So I guess we need to push on into Legion's tomb. So we're going to be turning to page 19. And here is Legion's tomb, which is a Thornwood dungeon. Countless soldiers gave their lives in Lunaria's war with Dunkirk. King Silvos III created this massive mausoleum to honour the fallen warriors and to symbolically show the end of their war. However, the mausoleum is plagued by undead still fighting for nobility long since dead, and tomb raiders looking to steal artifacts and offerings left for the dead. Alright, we've got some unique rules here. There is, in Legion's tomb, a condition called choking darkness. The darkness makes it harder for you to see the threats hidden within. While in the Legion's tomb, you suffer -1 to flee and avoid traps. Bad news. We've also got some creation urns scattered around. There's 2 that I can see. And there's a possibility of finding 2 gold in each. So we're going to go into location A, and we're trying to get our way round into location I over here. So here we go. Much the same, we're rolling our D6, and then we're checking out the threat table for this location. So location A, counter A. 5 plus 2 is 7. We have found a sarcophagus. We may ignore or roll D6. 1 to 3 we become exhausted. Ooh, and there's a chance of a decent amount of gold in the sarcophagus. What does exhausted mean? Exhausted, you can carry 2 fewer items. Well, that's not so bad because we've only got 1 item at the moment, so we could still carry a couple even if we get exhausted. So I'm going to risk it because I like the idea of having some more gold. 3. Bad news. Well, I didn't say before, but my intention was for a roll of 1, 2 or 3 to have the negative effect. That's normally the way I do things. The lower numbers represent the negative effect. So a 3 and 6 chance means a 1, 2 or 3 means we're exhausted. So we are exhausted. And we can mark that here. That is unfortunate, but I think it was worth the risk, or it would have been worth the risk if we got it. I guess we should head straight over. So we'll go out into this main area, which is E. 5. Skeleton. I think the U must be undead. X of 1. And no gold. So we're trying to get more than 1. 5. Successful, so we've defeated the skeleton. I think we're going to go into F so we can check out this urn. So we're going to F. 6 plus 0 is a zombie. X of 2. If we're damaged by the zombie, there's a 1 in 6 chance that we just become a zombie and that's the end of our game. So we're trying to roll greater than 2. 3. That is a success, and we actually get a gold for defeating the zombie. We didn't get damaged by the zombie, that's all good. So I'm presuming we don't have to roll in the next location, we just have to check out the cremation urn. Here we go. We're hoping for a 4 or 5, and that'll give us 2 gold pieces. A 5. Fabulous. So that's given us 2 gold pieces. We're up to 4 now. We are virtually rich. I guess we now need to head back out into F. 2. A scythe trap. Ugh. That's got an X of 5. Why is that so brutally hard to avoid? So we've got to roll a 6 to avoid. 4. So we are now slowed and we've taken 2 damage. So we're down to 14 health. What does slowed mean? It says on the sheet here, that's quite handy. -2 to flee. Well, it's already -1 to flee, so really fleeing isn't going to be an option anytime soon. Heading back out into E. 3 Wendigo. Exit target of 2. Oh, look at that. I can consume its corpse if I defeat it to regain some health, but there's a risk that I become a Wendigo, and that's the end of my adventure. Let's see if we defeat it first. Trying to roll more than 2. 4. Okay. So we have defeated it. We gain 2 gold pieces, up to 6. I think I'm going to consume its corpse. So there's a 1 in 6 chance we are going to become a Wendigo and not get to leave this tomb. So if I roll a 1, that's the end of the adventure. 2. Ooh. But we now get 2d6 HP, which is pretty big. 10. And I guess our max is 20, I would imagine. Yes. So we're going back up to 20 health. That is fantastic news. So at the moment, we've got our shield still. We've got our max health, and we've got 6 gold. So actually, everything is looking pretty sweet. We're going to go round into H. Ooh, 6 plus 4 is 10. It means we're facing a ghoul, which has only got an X target of 2, but does 3 damage. And if we're damaged by the ghoul, there's a 2 in 6 chance that our maximum HP is permanently reduced by 1. So let's hope for a 3 or more. 6. Fantastic. So we're getting 2 gold, and we have defeated the ghoul. Things are going pretty well. So we're going to go into location I. And at this point, we come across the late Commander Blackleaf, who is still fighting, and we need to put him to rest. So we've got an X target of 4 here, 3 damage if Blackleaf wounds us, 4 gold pieces if we succeed. If we're damaged by Commander Blackleaf, his X becomes 5, so it goes up. And we can destroy any carried item to avoid taking damage. Well, we've only got 1 item, and that's the shield. And that does that anyway, doesn't it? You discard it to avoid damage for a round. So here we go. Trying to hope for a 5 or a 6. 6! Tell you what, the dice gods, as Ithacquis Bane would say, are shining on me today. That was very lucky. So we're gaining 4 gold. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we get Blackleaf's shield. Avoid damage once before needing to be repaired for 1 gold piece. Oh, so it's like a shield, but you can repair it. That's very cool. That's great. And we've completed our first quest. So I should have written that down, shouldn't I? So this quest was Be at Peace Warrior. And that was at Legion's Tomb. Cool. Well, we're on max health. But we do need to go back into town in order to get another quest. So the question is, which town do we head to? We've got Lunaria, where we came from. We've got Oak Run, which is about the same sort of distance, I guess. And then we can go to Lunaria, and it costs 5 gold pieces, so it would cost almost all my gold to travel to Orgera. Where's Orgera? That's the island. There's a settlement. Yeah, it's a settlement on Orblum Island. And then we would have access to Orblum Isle, which would be kind of cool, but quite expensive. So I wonder whether we go up to Oak Run, rest up a little bit. Presumably we'll take some damage between here and Oak Run. Possibly spend some of our gold on some cool trinkets. Pick up another quest. So I think we'll do that. We'll make our way up there, and then once we're in Oak Run and we're fully kitted out, possibly we will stop and finish up in another video. But let's see if we get that far first, because you never know. So we're going to head out into this location. We're adding on 6 because this is a very risky location. That's what these numbers mean, really. The modifiers. When you're closer to civilization, closer to safety, the modifier is low. And then as you move into more risky locations, the modifier increases. 1 plus 6 is 7. So we have come across a harpy. We cannot flee. An X target of 2. So we're trying to roll more than 2. Oh, we failed. So we're taking 3 damage. Do we carry on fighting? I guess we do, don't we? Yes, we have to try again. So we're taking 3 damage from the harpy. And then we've got to try again. Try to get more than 2. 4. Harpy is defeated. What are we getting here? 2 gold pieces. And that is that. On to the next location. Adding on 4 this time. It's another harpy. Defeated. 2 gold pieces. Up here. 2 plus 2 is giving us 4. A poacher's trap. Traps are quite brutal. You've got to roll more than a 5 to avoid this trap. And obviously we haven't. Taking 3 damage. Down to 14. And then up into Oak Run. So we can turn to Oak Run. So this is a new settlement. We haven't been here before. The small logging village has a long history of being on the short end of the stick. They were an easy target for Wulfmere's banditry until King Silvos I killed the thieves. The citizens of Oak Run were then conscripted into his son's war on Dunkirk. Now the ever-marching Thornwood has caged the village within its vicious embrace. In spite of their misfortune, the people here still stand tall. So first things first, we should probably heal, assuming that's not too expensive. We can heal 2 HP or 1 condition per gold, because we want to get rid of exhausted and we want to get rid of slowed. Or maybe we should we get rid of both of those? It's going to cost us 2 gold. We should get rid of both of them. So we'll get rid of those. That's costing us 2 gold and a further 3 gold to go up to full health. So that's 2, 3, 5 gold. Really, I should be counting this with numbers, shouldn't I? So we're on 16. So this is taking us down to 11. We'll stop tracking like that. Right, so we've got 11. Anything in the shop worth having? An axe gives you +1 fight against plants, which I guess is better than nothing. I assume there'll be some plants in some of the places we go into. A bow, which costs 7, is +1 to fight full stop. Spend 1 gold piece per fight roll made, assuming when you're using the bow. That's expensive, isn't it? The spear, +1 to fighting beasts. A high potion. All conditions are removed and you heal 2d6 once. That is valuable. And the tools to avoid traps, because those traps are pretty brutal. I think I'm going to go for a high potion, at least. And that's going to take us down to 5, so there's not much else we can afford. We could spend all our money on a spear to fight beasts. Maybe I'm going to save some, though. I might buy 1 set of tools to avoid traps. And we'll keep 3 gold. I think that's what we're going to do. Alright, I think we'll pause it there, folks. We will pick up a quest in the next video. We've got 4 new quests to choose from here. I'll pick a quest that I didn't do in the first playthrough. I can't really remember which one I did in the first playthrough. I'll check it out before I record the next video. Hope you enjoyed that, folks. That was a little playthrough of Korg, Scars of Silvos. Such a lovely little zine, beautiful artwork, and a nice, relaxed, simple overland and dungeon adventuring game. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Have you got a copy of this one yourself? What do you think of it? Let me know. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.